In this video, we are going to look at data visualizations. We are going to make some graphs and plots using KNIME analytics platform. So let's continue to build our workflow. And from this node here, I'm going to look for a bar chart node. So here is a bar chart. You can also see the nodes for data visualizations in this part of the interface. Okay, let's configure the bar chart. So remember, a bar chart is for categorical variables. So let's take the category of product category on the x-axis, and let's take the total of the sales revenue. And I'm going to click Save and Execute. So here is the bar chart. So you can see it's color-coded: furniture, electronics, and clothing. And the height of the bars corresponds to the total sales revenue. We could make a change. We could ask for the average sales revenue. So I'm going to select average, press Save and Execute. And this time it is showing me the average sales revenue. We can see that the highest average sales revenue belongs to the clothing category. So this is how we will make a bar chart. Of course, we could select different category dimensions, and then accordingly, the bar chart is going to be modified. So this chart shows a comparison of North and West regions, again for the average sales revenue. So this was how we will make a bar chart. Next, let's make a stacked area chart. A stacked area chart. Let's configure it. So it's going to look very similar to a bar chart. Let's bring in categories once again, and let's have the total sales revenue. So we will have product categories on the x-axis: furniture, electronics, and clothing. And then we have the area showing us the total sales revenue. We can see that the total sales revenue are the highest for the electronics category. So this is a stacked area chart. Next, let's make a pie chart. Let's configure the pie chart. So the pie chart, the category dimension is going to be, let's take product categories, and let's take the sales revenue and the sum of the sales revenue, or the total sales revenue, as the aggregation. And let's click Save and Execute, and we can see that the pie chart has been made. Of course, we can customize this pie chart. If you want to convert it to a donut chart, I'm going to check here, and that the same chart becomes a donut now. Likewise, if I want the labels to contain both categories and values, so I could do that. If I want proportions as well, I'm going to click both, and now it gives me the total as well as the percentage. I can have my labels inside, I can have my labels outside, I can display the legend. So you can see the legend color coded is shown below here. So these are different ways of customizing your pie chart. Next, let's look at the histogram. So we know that a histogram is for numeric variables. We want to look at the distribution of a numerical variable through a histogram. So the dimension that has been selected is the store efficiency. Let's see the distribution of store efficiency first. I'm going to go with all the default values and click Save and Execute. So you can see that this is the histogram for the store efficiency. Likewise, I could have a histogram for the sales revenue. So this is the histogram for the sales revenue. Next, Let's make a heat map. So let's configure the heat map. The heat map will have horizontal and vertical dimensions, which are categorical variables. So for now, let's go with the default. Horizontal will have store, vertical will have categories, and let's have the sum of total sales revenue. The total sales revenue as the aggregation dimension. So when I click Save and Execute, this is my heat map. So I could customize it, and let's display the color map axis so that we know what are the scales that we are talking about. So right now, the values range from 1883 to 11201. So the darker shades moving towards red are higher values. So you can see if I bring the mouse here, it tells me it's online stores and electronics category having the largest sales. And online stores, furniture having the least amount of sales. We could also show value labels within the heat map. Similarly, I could change the dimension from store to region, and the heat map will be updated now. So now we have the regions, west and north, and then we have the total sales for the 3 product categories across these regions. So we can customize the settings and come up with a visual according to our requirements. So this was a heat map. Next, let's make a scatter plot. But before we do that, let's add a node which is the color manager node. Color manager. Why I'm adding a color manager will become clear in just a moment. So let's configure the color manager. I'm going to color by region, and the colors it has selected are green for north and red for west. Let's go with that, click OK. And now from the color manager node, I'm going to go and insert a scatter plot node. So when I configure the scatter plot node, I want to, since a scatter plot relates to 2 numeric variables, let's have store efficiency on the x-axis and the sales revenue on the y-axis. And now that color dimension will become clear, color by region. I'm going to see the dots color coded by region so that I'm able to understand how the regions are performing here shown in different colors. So when I click Save and Execute, this is the scatter plot that I see. I can customize it. I can increase the point size. Right now it was 5. Let's make it 8 or even 10. The legend is displayed. So you can see the red dots correspond to the western region. The green dots are corresponding to the northern region. But it is very, very obvious and clear that as store efficiency increases, the sales revenue is going up. So we can see that there is definitely a positive trend in this scatter plot. So this is going to be useful when we will talk about regression analysis later. Similarly, we could have our color manager code values for product categories. So let's go with these color coded values for categories, and this time when we look at the scatter plot, let's take product categories and look at the same horizontal and vertical dimensions with respect to product categories color coded. And now you can see that the categories furniture, electronics, and clothing are being shown. And still we will see that there is that positive trend. As efficiency increases, the sales revenue goes up. But this time we are able to visualize that for each of the product categories as well. So in this video, we have looked at some basic data visualizations. We had already looked at a box plot, and with that, we are now able to explore our data and make different visuals, which will tell us more about the data distributions and the way the data relates to a certain variable, maybe a categorical variable, Now we know different techniques of exploring our data.